Think you know the Bible? Test your knowledge with our Bible Trivia, People Edition 40 Hard Questions. Let's see how many you can get right. Let's begin. Who was the father of Micah the prophet? Answer: Imlah. Who was the high priest when David ate the consecrated bread? Answer: Ahimelech. Who was the queen who visited Solomon to test his wisdom? Answer: Queen of Sheba. Who was the wife of Elkanah and rival of Hannah? Answer: Peninnah. Who was the prophetess who recognized Jesus as the Messiah when he was presented at the temple as a baby? Answer: Anna. Who was the king of Judah during Isaiah's prophetic ministry? Answer: Hezekiah. Who was the prophet that prophesied to King Ahab about his death in battle? Answer: Micaiah. Who was the father of Eli the high priest? Answer: Ithamar. Who was the prophet that confronted Ahab and Jezebel about their sins? Answer: Elijah. Who was the king of Judah who was struck with leprosy? Answer: Uzziah. Who was the scribe who led the second group of exiles back to Jerusalem? Answer: Ezra. Who was the prophet that married a prostitute as a sign of God's relationship with Israel? Answer: Hosea. Who was the brother of Moses and the first high priest of Israel? Answer: Aaron. Who was the king of Israel who built Samaria and made it his capital? Answer: Omri. Who was the last judge of Israel before the monarchy was established? Answer: Samuel. Who was the cupbearer to King Artaxerxes I of Persia? Answer: Nehemiah. Who was the prophet that foretold the coming of John the Baptist as the forerunner of the Messiah? Answer: Isaiah. Who was the governor of Judah who led the rebuilding of the temple after the Babylonian exile? Answer: Zerubbabel. Who was the woman who hosted a church in her home and was commended by Paul in the letter to the Romans? Answer: Priscilla. Who was the father of Jethro, Moses' father-in-law? Answer: Hobab. Who was the Jewish sorcerer and false prophet whom Paul encountered in Paphos? Answer: Bar-Jesus, Elymas. Who was the king of Judah during the time of the prophet Obadiah? Answer: Jehoram. Who was the high priest before whom Paul was brought in Jerusalem and who ordered Paul to be struck on the mouth? Answer: Ananias. Who was the man who killed 800 men with a spear in one encounter? Answer: Adino. Who was the woman mentioned by Paul as a servant of the church in Cenchreae? Answer: Phoebe. Who was the prophet who confronted King Jeroboam II about his idolatry? Answer: Amos. Who was the governor of Cyprus who was converted to Christianity by Paul and Barnabas? Answer: Sergius Paulus. Who was the commander of David's army who killed Abner? Answer: Asahel. Who was the young man who fell asleep and fell out of a window during Paul's long sermon in Troas? Answer: Eutychus. Who was the silversmith in Ephesus who stirred up a riot against Paul? Answer: Demetrius. Who was the ruler of the synagogue in Corinth who believed in the Lord and was baptized along with his household? Answer: Sosthenes. Who was the prophet that King Hezekiah consulted during the Assyrian siege of Jerusalem? Answer: Isaiah. Who was the priest that found the book of the law during the reign of King Josiah? Answer: Hilkiah. Who was the prophet that predicted the destruction of Jerusalem before the exile? Answer: Jeremiah. Who was the Pharisee who defended the apostles before the Sanhedrin? Answer: Gamaliel. Who was the man known for his patience and endurance through suffering? Answer: Job. Who was the Roman centurion that showed great faith by asking Jesus to heal his servant from a distance? Answer: Cornelius. Who was the king of Moab who oppressed Israel during the time of the judges? Answer: Eglon. Who was the scribe who accompanied Nehemiah in the rebuilding of Jerusalem's walls? Answer: Ezra. Who was the king of Judah who reigned after Hezekiah and was known for his wickedness? Answer: Manasseh.